we would like to show the onset of feminist movements, its impact and effect on schooling over the generations and vice versa. We decided to focus on certain aspects like gender differences in an academic setting, the interest of women in STEM fields, the redefining of the gender gaps, and the various ways in which education influences their lives. We interviewed 3 participants from Asia, participant 1 who is from present-day China, participant 2 who is from Hong Kong, and participant 3 who is from India. After analyzing the data collected from the interview, we observed that women have always been underrepresented in STEM fields. However, the situation has improved over time with people from the later generations getting more opportunities. Almost all of the participants that we interviewed want to either work or study further after graduating from high school, but some of them from the older generations faced difficulties in doing so, like participant 3 who got married after graduating and participant 2 who had to work instead. We also observed that all of the participants had to wear uniforms during school, and these uniforms weren't unisex.
Another important point to note is that in developing countries, especially during the early 50s, these opportunities are greatly dependent on your social status. For instance, despite of President III being in the oldest generation, she is still fortunate enough to receive higher education, study science-related subjects. On top of that, we find the gender differences in academic settings gradually diminish across generations. In the older generation, we find the girls were sometimes assigned less intensive physical tests during PE. During participants' 2th generation, gender equity was valued relatively more, and physical education wasn't separated based on gender anymore. Though gender stereotypes still exist, girls would play volleyball and boys would play football or basketball. In our current generation, the girls are expected to take part in the same physical activities as boys to some extent. We also discussed the extent to which sex education was taught in school across different regions and areas. In certain developing countries such as India, sex education remains to be a sensitive topic and is not emphasized to be taught to students. However, for both participant 1 and 2, they were required to partake in mandatory sex education courses. In conclusion, we find that during the older generation, during the 30s through 50s, there was minimal discussion regarding feminism, but in general there was some bias. However, over time things have improved through the 2nd generation, as we know that there are increasing elements of girl power, with a growing concern for gender equal rights. Gender discrimination continues to exist today. However, as we saw for participant 1 and 2, both girls and boys were able to take part in most activities equally.